Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over a story titled, My Ex-Wife Came Out and Left Me and My Daughters 3 years ago, and now she's back. And a big shout out to Joseph for sending me this story. And guys, this story is all about a guy. He is married for a number of years to his wife, had 3 daughters together between the ages of 10 to 14 when these events went down, and he thought he was in a happy marriage. You've all heard that before. Money was good, all that, and then one day his wife sat him down and explained that she's in love with her coworker, her female coworker, and pretty much ending the marriage. And what happens is that she ends up completely abandoning them. Zero contact. He's on the hook not only financially for his daughters, but also raising daughters as well between the ages of 10 and 14 when this goes down. At a time when their daughters definitely needed their mom, a good mom, because a dad can try as he may, he can't get all the things that are going on with a young girl emotionally and all that. But he survives. But then 3 years later, guess who's back? Because things didn't work out with her lover. And I'm doing this one as an example, guys, to show you, number one, how guys can really pull through and endure for their family. Because this guy really struggles. Not just for him, but also his daughters. Because remember, this is supposedly the love of his life, who he thought he was going to stay with till he was in the grave. And she's gone. And he loses her, the financial support, and the daughters in dealing with them. It's a big mess. But he does it because he's strong. He's a man. He does what he has to do for his family. On the other side, showing how absolutely irresponsible some gals can be. And it's always the guys that are painted as the ones that abandon the family, abandon the kids, all that, and it's the strong mom that pulls through. Well, that's just not true. You got great men out there that are great fathers that do what they have to do for their families. And also, you have gals out there that are terrible mothers, terrible parents, and it needs to be pointed out. And again, you're going to see here the complete lack of accountability here. So I think that's a very good one for the guys to show what guys can handle and endure. Guy needs to be praised here, and also show reality here in terms of the gals. Now let me make something clear before I get into this story, because I have haters and I have people that would love to see my channel taken down. In no way, shape, or form do I have a problem with her coming to realize who she is, coming out, and being attracted to women, all that. I got no problem with that. My problem is, in this story, as you're going to see, that she abandons her kids and family and all responsibility. Literally deletes their phone number so they can't reach her so she can find herself. That's terrible. That I have a problem with. Because I got friends and a family member that are gay, and they're great people. But there are people that would love to twist my words around to have me taken down. And so I got to make that little disclaimer, make abundantly clear. It's not because I have an issue with her coming out. Because a lot of people live in areas where that growing up, they simply just has to be on the down low and all that. I just have an issue with somebody marrying somebody and making them think they're the one when they obviously are attracted to someone of the same sex. That type of thing. I know you guys get where I'm coming from here, but I always have people come on here, want to twist things around, try to get me kicked off YouTube. So, that being said, he says here, so how do I start this? Well, 3 years ago, my wife came out as gay. We've been together for many years. In fact, our oldest daughter was 14 at the time, and my youngest was 10 years old. Our life was good. Both me and my wife worked hard, so we had stable finances, and I thought we were happy. How many guys have said that? That was until one evening my wife sat us down and explained that she was in love with a female colleague from her workplace, and that she wants to be with her. She said she was sorry, but she had to find out who she was, and that would only be possible if she left her old life behind, blah, blah, blah. The typical breakup nonsense. Well, okay, if this is who she is and she's coming to terms with this, even though it's ending their marriage and all that, okay, it is what it is. But that doesn't mean you abandon your family. Okay, you go off and okay, that's who you are, but you're still going to be there for your children. You're going to make them fully aware it's not their fault. You're going to help provide for them financially. But no, she disappears completely off the face of the earth. On that day, she left us and cut the contact. For me and my daughters, the world fell apart. I knew that I now had to take care of my daughters all by myself. I was in a state of depression for a long time, but I kept fighting for my daughters. Every attempt to contact my ex-wife failed. Luckily, I found a much better paying job that made it possible for me to give them the world. My daughters had good grades in school, and I knew that our life would soon be better again. But once in a while, when I took my youngest daughter to bed, she asked if I would leave them like Mom. Aw, that poor girl. Now she's in the state wondering if her dad's ever going to disappear too. I hugged her and gave her a kiss on the forehead and promised her that I would never leave them and that I loved them more than anything in the world. Unlike their mother, I was so angry at my ex-wife because she was the one that gave her those feelings. I wonder if she ever realized what she had done to our daughters. I don't think she gives a shit because she's out finding herself. And by the way, this is a mother. Obviously, I'm going to probably guess, since the oldest is 14, probably at the bare minimum, late 30s, maybe early 40s, so old enough to handle things better and to know better. Fast forward to a few weeks ago, my daughters and I sat in the living room, and I told them that because Christmas month was already next month, they should write down what they want for Christmas. My oldest daughter is now 17 and my youngest is now 13. While they were busy writing, the doorbell rang and I wondered who it was. Gee, who could be at the door? When I opened the door, I froze in shock. It was my ex-wife with a big smile on her face. She said she was happy to see and she tried to hug me, but I refused to hug her. I wouldn't hug her either. I'd be like, get your ass out of here. You completely abandoned us in all shapes or form. And you're going to come here now and act like everything's okay? Now listen to this, to the reaction that the girls have. My oldest daughter then came up behind me and asked me who it was, and when she saw her mother, her facial expression immediately changed. I've never seen her so angry. My ex-wife tried to apologize and she wanted to hug her, but my daughter pushed her away and shouted at her to leave, and she never ever wants to see her again. Then my youngest daughter also joined us. She just got angry too and turned around and went to her bedroom. Then my oldest one followed her to comfort her. There you go. Again, if that's Mom realized who she was and attracted to women and couldn't be with the father anymore, okay, fine. It's unfortunate families breaking up here, but you still maintain a relationship with your daughters that need you and, of course, provide this guy to do everything. And she's going to come back acting like everything's okay, and the girls are going to be there with open arms. Fat chance, honey. From the look on her face, I figured she was ashamed, as she should be. I asked her what she wanted. She said that the last 3 years weren't good for her. She constantly thought of her daughters and wanted to see them again, but for some reason, she never came by because she was expecting the exact response from them. Well, after 3 years, of course. If this was a few months later, it would have been hard, but she could have gotten through. The longer she was away and impossible to reach, of course more resentment's going to build. But she guessed that she deserved this. She asked if I could talk to them. I told her that I could tell them that she was sorry and let them decide, but I will not push them into doing anything that they don't want to. She was okay with that and left. She also left me with her new number to contact her. Oh well, how nice after all these years. I then got to my daughter's room. She cried in the arms of her older sister. I told them what their mother had told me. I told them that if they don't want to meet with her, that they can do that. It would be okay with me. My oldest daughter said that she cannot forgive her for doing what she did, and that I was everything that they need. It felt good to hear this, really good. I always thought being a single parent would mean that I might not ever be enough for my children. Hearing this made me so happy. My youngest daughter then said that she always thought she missed her mother, but now that she's seen her again, she never wants to see her again. And let's make this clear. This isn't because Mom came out and Mom is lesbian. Has nothing to do with that. It's because she abandoned them. Again, I got my haters. I want to look for any excuse to kick SSM off YouTube. Not happening, motherfuckers. I texted my wife about that. She read it, but she didn't respond. But she didn't give up that easily. She showed up to our house once more while my daughters were playing ping pong outside. I was in the living room watching TV when I suddenly heard a loud shouting outside the house. I immediately got there and saw my oldest daughter arguing with my ex-wife. My oldest daughter shouted at her that she had no idea what she did to me. She told her about how depressed I was and everything that I went through. This was kind of surprising because I wanted my daughters to feel secure with me, so I never told them of my depression and all the suffering that I went through. Believe me, women are more emotional than men. They're going to pick up on these things. And I guarantee you, that if the daughters weren't protective of their dad before, they're definitely protective of him now. Then she continued how she felt over the years, knowing that her mother left her and she will never forgive her. My 13-year-old was crying while that happened, so I hugged her and comforted her, but I also didn't want to interfere because if my oldest wanted to tell her mother anything, I'm not going to stop her just to protect my ex-wife's feelings. Good. Your ex-wife's a grown-ass woman. She made her bed, she can lie in it, and there you go. And guys, you're going to see real soon what was really going on behind the scenes, why the ex-wife is back and all that. Overall, she never cared about our feelings either. After she was done, she came hugging me as well, and I told the ex-wife she should leave us alone once and for all. If she ever showed up, excuse me. If she ever showed up here again, we'll get a restraining order. She left with tears in her eyes. Well, that was 3 days ago, and she hasn't showed up again so far. Yeah, well, something tells me she'll be back. I just hope she leaves us alone. My daughters made it very clear they don't want anything to do with her. I wanted to give them the opportunity to meet their mother again because if there's any chance that my children may have a mother again, I don't want to stand in their way. That says a lot about him. After what she did, he could easily manipulate the hell out of them to make sure they never wanted to talk to her mom again. But he's given her the opportunity and them the opportunity. That says a lot about who he is. Because let me tell you, if the situation was reversed, do you think the mother would handle it this way? Oh, hell no. And by the way, again, where I don't hear anything about the state coming after the mother for child support or anything like that. Nothing, right? Because if the man left like she did, you bet your ass the state would be after the guy for money. But I'm glad they didn't give her a chance. I don't know if it makes me a bad person to think this, but I also don't think that my ex-wife deserves to be with her daughters again, so I hope the last encounter delivered the message. Thank you for reading. Nobody can blame this guy at all for wanting a little bit of payback, given how she treated him and all that. Now, on to the update, because this ain't over yet. He says here, I actually thought about not using this account anymore, but I promised you an update, so here I am. She appeared again, but luckily not at home. I think about what's the best way to describe what happened today. Let's just say it could also be part of one of those bad written stereotypical drama series. My youngest daughter came home today with a mad look on her face, and when I asked her what was wrong, she started to explain. It all started when my youngest daughter got out of school today. Usually she just walks home, but this time my ex-wife waited for her at the exit. Ambushed her, huh? She tried to ghost her, but she was stubborn and refused to let her go just like that. She offered her a ride home. My daughter refused, but she insisted. So notice she's going after the younger one. The youngest one who are less likely to put up the fight. My daughter refused, but she insisted. She prepared herself for running away, but before she could, my ex-wife made her an offer. She would give her a ride home, and she tried to explain everything to her, and if she didn't want to see her again, she'll never show up again. My daughter figured this could be the best opportunity to get rid of her, so she accepted. Now here comes the interesting part. She wouldn't drive her home exactly. She just drove around town for a while telling her story. So once the girl's in the car, she's not just driving her 10 minutes home. She's circling around McDonald's and Burger King and the Bank of America, taking as long as she can to tell her whole story. The daughter's trapped. According to my daughter, she broke up with her girlfriend after 1 year of her relationship with the coworker because they had too much different interests. She said that while she tried to live with her, she constantly had her daughters in her mind. She said that she went no contact because she deleted the numbers and she hoped this would help her start a new life with her girlfriend. She's actually admitting that she deleted the phone numbers of her daughters and blocked them so she could start a new life. I mean, you don't get any more selfish than that. Oh my God. And it didn't work out with the girlfriend, so therefore now she's back. What would have happened if things worked out with her girlfriend? Would she be back now? Probably not. She's only back because she's run out of options. And what I tell you guys, they always come back. Spent the last 2 years in a depression because she figured she couldn't live without her babies around and that she deeply regrets leaving them and that her life was a total mess. That's karma, honey. She could understand if my daughters hated her, but she would try to make everything right if they just gave her the chance. And then my daughter basically said, how I met your mother to her and asked her what would have happened if her relationship and her life were successful and her and the older sister are just the consolation prize. Quick intervention for me at this point. I was so proud of my daughter at the moment. She is 13, yet she is so mature and intelligent. I love her. In other words, the daughter was saying, okay, what would have happened if things did work out, right? Would we never hear from you again? That's why the mom is back, because things didn't work out with the girlfriend while she was out finding herself. I mean, it's terrible and so unbelievably irresponsible. And now just shows up expecting everything to be okay. My daughter told me that this question really made her mad, and apparently she accused me of poisoning them against her. Of course she does. Funny, because I never talk bad about her with my daughters. Of course I was angry for a long time, so I said a few bad things about her to one of my coworkers, but never to my daughters. She's still the mother of my children overall. And that says a lot about this guy's character. He had every right to trash her to the daughters. He didn't. Okay, I believe him. Because, again, if the situation was reversed, how do you think it would happen if the man left? You think the mother would probably not trash the husband? In most cases, come on. My daughter said that when she got out of the car, she affirmed her will of never seeing her again, and my ex-wife just nodded and then she drove away. My daughter asked me if we could do anything so she stays away because she doesn't expect her to keep her promise. I called for my oldest daughter and my younger daughter and explained what happened as well. Then I asked them if I should get the restraining order, and I explained them what that would mean and what would happen to them, and they said yes. So yeah, this is what I'm going to do. I know that a few people might think it's harsh, but it's not like I didn't warn her. If anything happens again, I'll keep you updated. Well, yes, I want to hear updates here. So guys, like I said before, perfect example. And he tried. He gave the option, saying, okay, you want to talk to them, go right ahead. I'm not going to get in the way. The daughters want nothing to do with her. And again, the situation was reversed. You can imagine how that went down. But again, it shows you the narrative about the crappy fathers and men abandoning their families and all that stuff like that. And it's the mother to stay strong. That's just not true. You got great men out there that are great fathers, do everything they can to take care of their kids, boys or girls, and go through a lot of hell. And you got a lot of rotten mothers out there that people just turn a blind eye on that because, it's, well, they're the gal, so, gotta let them slide. That's bullshit. And what she did was terrible. And it's a perfect example, and this does happen. And again, I got no problem that she came to terms with the fact that she was gay, attracted to women, she's lesbian. Okay, fine. I got no problem with that. But you don't abandon your family. You don't cut them off when they need you the most. Teenage girls, good Lord. I imagine imagine the father being abandoned by the wife, who he loved and thought everything was great, and then he's dealing with his own issues and trying to pay the bills and dealing with the teenage girls that feel abandoned and all their teenage emotions and hormones. I mean, it must have been a fucking nightmare, but he did it. He was strong and he did it, and good for him. So you know what? She brought this on herself. She made her bed and she lies in it. And it sounds like they're going to get a restraining order. Now, all she could do, the best thing she could do is accept what she's done and move on. And then one day when the kids are legal adults, if they want to give her a chance, okay. The best thing she can do to redeem herself is to say, if she wants to write a freaking letter saying, again, I'm sorry, I'll respect your wishes and leave you alone. My door is always open, and that's what she can do, and make her bed and lie. Not blame the dad, not blame everybody else. You have to take accountability. But again, the old joke about accountability and the gals. So, good job for this guy. Good for him being strong. Hope everything works out okay. And hopefully that mother leaves him alone, moves on with her life, and if the kids give her a chance down the road, she won't screw it up. So this is a lesson out there for people. You got to take care of your family. You can't abandon them. You can't be so selfish. But we're in an era right now. There's just so many people are just so unbelievably selfish. All they think about themselves. And this is what we're in. But again, as I say, Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below what you think about this. And guys, you come across a good story like to share, by all means, email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just give me some time to get to it, and I definitely will later on down the road. And this also includes not just articles and stories, but also your own personal stories. Personal stories, the best thing in this channel, so I'm always looking out for that. Don't be shy. Even if you did things in the past that you're ashamed of or you fucked up on, and you're going to get some smacks, who cares? It's all fun and games here. It's entertaining and helps guys learn. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.